Hey guys, welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys.
And today we will be reviewing the season 2 of Discovery of Witches.
Yeah, we reviewed season 1 last year sometime.
Yeah,
When was that last year? In 2020.
And around that time, they were in the middle of production mode of filming season 2 that time, and most of the time they kind of had a hard time because they were kind of confined to one location because of
the coronavirus. And such. But they pushed on, and they got a reasonably good product, we think.
Yes, what's the word? Perceived or
proceeded.
I
don't know what you're thinking.
Well, anyway, they continued on and worked on their film project and got it out before the new year.
And another point too, it's really funny you said that, because when the other one had been, the first series on its last airing date for episode 8, it actually announced that they were going to start work on season 2 and season 3.
Mm-hmm.
So so here we go. Season 2 has started airing a couple of weeks ago. We're in a privileged position to have all the episodes, but we won't tell you too many spoilers, but we'll tell you the storyline, okay?
Yes.
So we're trying to keep it, not too, we'll keep it interesting,
yes,
won't we?
We will.
Yeah, we don't want to stuff it up further.
Yeah, so who directs it, and, I'm not going to say who stars in it because...
I'll mention the two main stars again. Yeah. I won't mention everyone because there's too many people in it. However, this is produced by Bad Wolf and Sky Productions. I think they're English. Okay. Now directed by Juan Carlos Medina, Alice Troughton, not quite sure of the right pronunciation there, and Sarah Walker. Hey, what a great name! Walker.
Huh.
Oh, sorry, Sarah. Sorry. Yeah. Written by Kate Brooke, Tom Farrelly, Charlene James, and Sarah Dollard. Now, this is obviously based on the All Souls trilogy by Deborah Harkness. So I think we mentioned that last time. And this Discovery of Witches was the name of the first book in the trilogy, was it not?
Right, yeah.
I believe so. Now, okay. Cast: Teresa Palmer plays Diana Bishop, the main lady, and the leading man is Matthew Good, playing Matthew Claremont. That's a big change. Matthew. Okay. Actually, one thing before I go into it, it says written by, but I think somebody actually wrote the screenplay before, and then Sky Productions took it over, and they got these people on the team. They rewrote the script, I think.
Yeah, they did. In the series, if you haven't seen it yet, which you may or may have, you may notice that some of the scenes have been moved around slightly, making it a lot more less busy and giving it more of a good continuation, and would not run too long in the production.
But anyway, carrying on. I think I'm almost finished here. My other notes for later on. So, do you want to take over now and give me a quick overview of the whole season 1, 2 thingy, and then storyline, and then go into season 2?
So I'll give you what's the word, prologue?
Prologue. That's very good.
Yeah, it's prologue into...
And epilogue's at the end, the prologue's at the beginning, I believe.
So I'll give you a rush...
a Reader's Digest version of...
I'll give you a Reader's Digest version of the first series.
First season, yeah.
Where Diana is a witch who can't control her magic. And she meets Matthew, a vampire, who is trying to find out why the species are slowly either dying out and stuff like that. So they end up working together, and they end up, because they begin to fall in love.
Lovely.
But other species, or the witches, don't really think this is a good connection.
And I think some of the vampires don't think it's really good either.
Yeah, especially Peter Knox, an evil witch who wants them to cease having any association.
Cease and desist.
Yes.
I could go all rude here, but I won't.
No, don't go there. So anyway, but that's not the only issue in the present. they're looking for a book called Ashmore. Well, what's it called?
I'm not quite sure what the book's called.
Well, it's called Ashmore. I don't know the numbers.
It's a magical book like a grimoire
Yeah,
or something.
I think
or
that
other.
according to the movie, it's the TV series. It's a book of life.
Yeah,
That sort of thing.
I think it's got secrets of how the three different types of demons, the vampires, the witches, came into being, coexisted, and how they can live in harmony together, or something or other.
Or
yeah.
something. Or
But they're trying to find the books how they can actually help the races survive.
But Knox wants to, like, he wants to destroy the vampires.
Yeah.
He thinks that vampires and demons were created by witches. So their existence, they can be undone by the witches if necessary.
He is so wrong.
He's the biggest bigot I ever seen.
Yeah, he's a bigot. That's a good name, isn't it?
Well, he's very racist against
vampires and demons.
vampires.
Yeah, so he's a bigot.
And anyway, so I'm moving on. I'll go.
Moving right along.
So Diana and Matthew, they decide that they couldn't find a teacher for Diana in the present, so they go back in time to Elizabeth.
Elizabethan time, around William Shakespeare time.
Yeah.
Hey, can I stop something? I don't think she's denying her witchcraft. I think wasn't she bound
Yes.
by her parents or her aunties, so she couldn't.
Well, by her parents because
otherwise the other witches could find her.
Yeah, because she had a very powerful magic within her, and just maybe likely the witches, most of the other coven witches would probably try to obtain her powers.
Yeah, and I don't know if they can suck it off somehow or other,
I don't know.
or manipulate her or do something or what. Yeah, but she was actually bound so she wouldn't emanate her magic or something or other, so they couldn't find her.
True.
So her two aunts were looking, her aunt and a friend, or was her aunt looking
An
after
aunt and her. Well, they're both her aunts because they're a lesbian couple. No doubt, you guys figured that out in the TV series.
If you saw the first season,
and they're lovers, obviously, but they're both called aunts because Diana is.
and they've been looking after her.
Yes.
They're like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, eh?
Or something. Don't be rude.
Well, Sabrina the Teenage Witch had two aunts.
Yeah, true. But anyway, moving on. So, Diana and Matthew, they head into the past to find a suitable teacher and find the book, hopefully. And along the way, they meet a lot of famous people. There's Queen Elizabeth I and Emperor Rudolph II. You may have heard of him.
Other good groovy people.
And let me see. Chris
Marlowe.
Marlowe.
Now, actually, I was talking to Sarah about Chris Marlowe. Now, Christopher Marlowe, I'm not too much in the literary sort of stuff, the old Elizabethan stuff like Shakespeare, but Christopher Marlowe and William Shakespeare were in the same time, and I read something years ago that they believe Christopher Marlowe was William Shakespeare, using is it a pseudonym, ghostwriter name, or something or other? Yeah.
Maybe not.
So to disassociate himself from a different style of writing or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving on. So they meet Chris. Well, actually, I'm going to call him Kit. That's his name, Kit Marlowe, and that's sort of a nickname.
Yeah.
And he's not too thrilled that Matthew is having a relationship with a witch.
Yeah, I think he's got this.
The hots for him.
He got the hots.
And it's it's no mystery because everyone in history knows that Christopher Marlowe was a gay.
Well, I don't know. I didn't read about his history, so.
But I'm not going to talk about it.
It's not about him. So
it's not
about Diana. Yeah.
But he's madly in love with Matthew. Just
and he wants Diana out of the way.
Oh yes.
In a big way.
Yes. Soon enough, Diana finds a coven of witches who are just like her and were able to train her slightly. But then, before they can complete her training, she and Matthew get called away to
another country.
To another country.
That was called Bohemia, was it?
Yeah, before they go to Bohemia, they are forced to stop off to see Matthew's adopted father, Philippe.
That's right. Yeah.
So they take their horses and go onto a ship and head off to Paris or France.
Daddy.
So,
Yes, and eventually, Philippe was not really thrilled about the idea of a witch being in his
family.
But after a few tests on his behalf, he found out that Diana is a most likely person who will keep their secrets and stuff.
Yeah. So he gave them his blessing by giving her a blood seal on it.
Yeah,
forehead,
see, that
yeah.
blood seal sort of symbolizes
Acceptance.
making her his legitimate daughter
Yeah.
in his family.
Without chewing on her neck.
Yes. And he says, "Oh, that's all there is to do. Now we're going to get you married."
And they got married.
Yeah, they went to a chapel. Priest blessed them, and then we had a small wedding feast party of sorts.
Blood sausages?
Don't go there.
Blood oranges?
No. There was a bit of a dance, and there was a few good songs.
Dance macabre. No,
Yeah,
no,
I like the song that they played in that scene about I don't know, I can't remember
What's
the
that?
song.
Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Anyway, it was a modern. It was sort of a
I like that nightlife.
No. dummy.
Wrong movie.
No, the other one about where if time is stored in a bottle or something. That song.
Jim Croce song. Yeah.
It was a beautiful take.
If I can save time in a bottle, blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
it was a good take on it by making it that.
Well, they were
period.
travelling through time and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, symbolism and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so
very
anyway,
nice.
finally Matthew and Dinah finally consummate their relationship.
What? They didn't.
Yes, it.
My Godfather.
Throughout
And I
the-
missed it. I must have blinked.
Well, in the book series, they continue bundling, cuddling,
That's a
but
nice word for, isn't it?
but they never got to the next level, and up until the point when they get married. Of
he
course.
was saving himself for the right girl.
No, he was saving. He didn't want to rush it. I think it had more to do with his blood rage. There's a.
Oh yeah, some sort of thing.
It's sort of I guess it comes from Isabel's side of the family, from what I understand, and Philippe doesn't have any control of that. He doesn't have it
he ain't
himself.
got a problem.
No,
Yeah.
but it's all in Isabel's side of the family, where all her side of all the kids that she transform into vampires all have blood rage in their systems.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. All teenage kids out of control. I don't know.
yes. Anyway, before they leave, well, actually, after they leave, dear old Philippe sends a message in a book in his favorite bookshelves to his
He had a
beloved.
library in his house.
Yeah, and Isabel knew that Philippe would often send her messages.
But he hid it well.
And this time he hid it inside the spine of the book.
Yeah, inside there. And the two witch aunts found it.
No, actually,
Did they?
Isabel found it.
Didn't they help? Didn't she help find it?
They can sense it.
They sensed where it was, and they
But-
led her in the right direction. She was sitting there, looking through the last couple of books and found it.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't have gone there unless the two aunts got her into the library.
Yeah. Anyway, she finds it, and she was kind of a little teary-eyed when she read the note, hinting that her husband still loves her even beyond the grave.
Yeah, he snuffed it earlier on last century sometime.
Yeah,
rather.
somehow during
Around World War One or World War Two.
World War Two, I thought World War One. I'm not sure.
It's probably World War Two or something.
He was captured by witches, and they slowly tortured him to
It's not
death.
very nice.
And Matthew feels really guilty about that because he lost his adopted father at the end.
Oh, shame.
And Isabel has been mourning his deaths for years and years.
Yeah, well, it's a long
But
time.
now that
yeah.
she's got this letter, she can finally accept finally get over the past and move forward.
Yeah. It's like a way of saying goodbye to his beloved.
I thought it was nice.
nice.
And it was mentioned in the book, Discovery of Witches book series, about how she finds the note and she gets all teary-eyed and starts singing a little bit.
We will rock,
No,
rock you. No, sorry.
She kind of sings in some French songs.
Oh, okay.
French. Anyway, moving on. So our heroes head off to where is their next spot?
Where the king was, that guy.
Yeah,
a place
Emperor
called
Rudolph.
Yeah, he was in a place called Bohemia.
Yeah, so they go
Wherever
there.
that is.
And they know, and just so you guys know, the book they think they're seeking is right there, supposedly.
Yeah, Rudolph, the red nose with hookers. You thought I was going to say Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeer, didn't you?
Yep. He has a sort of I don't know, a biochemist stole the book from
some Kelly.
Kelly something.
Kelly something, or Fred Kelly, or
yeah.
Ned Kelly, or something or other. He got the book.
Yeah.
And it's driving me crazy because
he keeps going on about how this book is talking to him and it's all all that stuff. I think it's because
my books don't talk to me. They sit there and self out the dust. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Emperor Rudolph, he gets really attached to Diana.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't mind getting attached, really deeply attached.
From what I read about Rudolph, he was a bit of a womanizer and he liked everything to be his.
Yeah, spoiled brat.
Even if it's another man's wife.
He wouldn't care.
He wouldn't care.
That reminds me of Mask of Red Death with Vincent Price. He'd screw anything that was going around him.
Aha, funny.
Wait, can I say that? Screw? No.
Okay, so anyway, our heroes, they try to play the game in the scene, trying to make sure they win the Emperor's favor.
And confidence and stuff.
But during a scene with some, what do they call those hawks? Those
falcons or something?
Yeah, falcon. Yeah. They try to do a bit of
falconry where they chase a little birdie and the falcon let loose attack it.
But somehow Matthews wins, and this upsets the Emperor Rudolph.
Spoiled brat.
Yeah, and he tells them to that you're spies and tells them to get lost. But then he has a change of heart and tells them to accept his forgiveness and come to his banquet.
I'm a very naughty boy. Whatever.
Yeah, and this was their probably the final chance of trying to find out if they had the book or not. And during one of these scenes, Diana kind of accidentally turns a snake on Rudolph's goblet into a living one. It was
so he believes he's a real wit's end, not just talking about it.
So he then takes her and Matthew and Matthew's nephew, I should mention, what's his name? Gobglass?
Who?
You know, what's his name?
I haven't got his name.
Oh, well, his nephew anyway, I should mention, who's really attractive, very nice looking Irishman.
To be sure.
Don't be rude.
Oh, sorry. What?
So anyway, they go to this Kelly guy, and he's off his rocker, I will definitely tell you. And at one point, the book flies open, and we see all these beautiful images portraying from the book.
Yeah, very nice. My books
we hear a lot of interesting noises, probably screams and noises and sounds. And eventually, Kelly snaps the book and starts tearing 3 pages out of the book.
He's trying to rip the book apart, but only managed to rip 3 pages out before they got the book away from him.
But luckily enough,
but that destroyed
Matthew and his nephew and Diana, they grab the book and they start to run.
But it didn't take the 3 pages out to fit the book, so you couldn't read easily.
Yeah, somehow it's kind of the magic within the book has been...
It's unstable now.
Unstable.
So you can't read the book easily because it's incomplete.
Yeah. And Matthew finds out from smelling the book that it's made by the blood and the flesh of the creatures, like vampires, witches, and demons. Yes, meaning this book is not really
a book of death as well as a book of life. Something?
Yes, something like that.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes. So anyway, they head back to England and they're about to make sure that Diana finishes her final spell, she's sort of
she's learning to weave spells, and a weaver actually creates spells instead of a witch who learns a spell from another witch. She can actually make spells. And
Yeah.
so, and there's not too many of those around.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of magical threads, invisible threads, and it's about winding them together, making them into a spell of
Knotting them
sorts.
together somehow, making so many threads make a spell potent. Is that
Yes,
word?
exactly so.
That sounds good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Potent.
So anyway,
Potent.
very rude.
Okay. Right.
So anyway,
Sorry.
as Diana's final preparations of getting her spells done, she eventually meets her familiar, a very big
A
fire
fiery dragony thing.
dragon creature, which is made of fire, and of course it lives inside Diana. Almost. And of course the head witch who was training Diana says that it will come when you're when you need it.
And it does later on.
Yeah, later that day, Kit tells her about how Matthew's in trouble and invites her and takes her to an sort of
abandoned building somewhere.
And he and Louisa, sort of a stepsister to Matthew, who is a horrible vampire who also has blood rage, I should mention.
Yeah, she got a problem.
And they plan on killing Diana, although Kit thinks that they should just banish her to gosh knows where.
Yeah. See, Kit's not really evil. He just wants Matthew to himself, whereas this... What's her name? The vampire girl. She's really mean, horrible. She wants to kill her.
Yeah, even though Kit thinks that she must have cast a spell over Matthew, making him gosh knows what. But
not a gosh knows what.
But Matthew already explained it to him that we are not the Matthew and Diana of this time. We're from way into the future.
Yeah.
And if you
he doesn't believe him somehow.
No, he doesn't. He thinks that this Matthew is different, and he thinks it's all because of the witch.
Well, one would. Yeah, one would. Yeah.
One would, yes. So
works for me. Yep.
Yeah. Eventually, Diana's familiar appears and eventually attacks the villain guys.
Yeah.
And eventually, Matthew, Father Hubbard, he's another vampire I should mention, and Matthew's nephew appear, and they take Louisa and Kit away to get their severe punishment in order. Although Matthew's going to be punishing them, he kind of drinks both Louisa's and Kit's blood because he is really angry. I mean, really. Yes, anyway.
Hell hath no fury like a vampire's scorn.
But eventually, Diana appears and finally tells him that to lay off the punishment and and let these two live, even though they caused a lot of problems.
So he decides to give up beating them up and chewing them up and everything else.
Yeah, and anyway, he comes home and eventually he and his wife, he kind of drinks from her heart vein, which is sort of aphrodisiac between vampire mates.
That's
and
part of it, wasn't that also? But it gave him a link so he could track her if she's in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Yeah, a bit like a GPS.
And any secret he may have, she'll know right away.
Yeah.
Meaning every single bit of his
And
friends.
a real bond. There.
Apart from that, we soon learn that Diana is pregnant.
She got a little werewolf or vampire or something in her tummy.
Yeah, but again, in the book, she suffers a miscarriage while they're living there,
so good.
and that child dies, of course. But when
that may not be in the book. That may be in the book, but not in the TV series.
But they then have another child while they're still there, and Matthew is having second thoughts about having another kid, never try it because, well, anything could happen. Anyway.
Yeah, well,
anyway, it's
even human beings.
Even though at the time Matthew and Diana, they figured they'll never have children together because this may not be in the cards for them. But Matthew
tarot cards. Oh, whatever. Anyway.
eventually, Diana meets up with her father in the final episode,
Oh yeah, Daddy is
a weaver, and he's
we-
able to travel through time
yeah,
too.
yeah. He's a witch who's a weaver, like she is. He makes spells, but he's an archaeologist. No, anthropologist. Anthropologist studying it, and he's come back in time to study this book if he can find it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he told her that you just broken this like several rules
You don't
regarding time walking.
You can't get involved with anything that you can only observe.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
so far throughout each of the episodes, we see so many things they've changed, and you see those happen in the present, where we see some miniature paintings that were really popular in the series, mentioned in the series, that they appeared in the present, and they cost like a bundle of dollars.
Yeah, at Sotheby's or somewhere, a big auction house. Yeah.
And a lot of other stuff like notes and stuff that witnessed Matthew or Diana's appearance in the past.
Yeah, funny. And then they sort of adopted a little street boy. And they said, there's so many things they shouldn't have done.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Changing history.
True.
Do you think if you went back in time and gave an antiviral vaccine to all the dinosaurs, they might not have died out?
Good point.
And we would have been eaten up?
Good point. Anyway, they might have altered something or caused a ripple effect. I think that's the word
Ripple,
used.
domino effect, whatever. Yeah.
I think you described
Or
that
the butterfly
to me.
effect. Butterfly effect. They made a movie called that.
Yeah, so-
You make one little change, just a little one, has a catastrophic effect on the future or something like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what they did. What Matthew and Diana did, and they realized they cannot take the book, the Ashmore book, back with them. It has to stay in the past.
Her father told her that because
Yes.
it belongs here. You can't take it with you. But you can't stay here. He told her because she has been. Breaking all the rules and everything. He has to go back to the future where she belongs.
So she finally does fix her final the ninth knot, which allows her to complete the spells that she's weaving, and the wise witch explains to her about the 10th knot that could be good for destruction.
Okay.
Of course, she can't really do that one herself, but Diana may find it very useful for later on.
Yeah, but for all the right reasons. Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. That'll show up in season 3 probably.
Yeah, as you will soon see.
We hope in about a year's time.
Yeah. So anyway, Diana and Matthew, they sell their affairs. They tell Jack, their adopted son, that he's going to be looked after by another family for now.
Yeah.
Possibly humans and all that stuff.
I think they're humans.
Yeah, and Diana makes sort of a bit of a weird decision on her part. She goes to Father Hubbard, whom she says that she wants him to protect Jack while she's away.
It must go out for those who might not know who Father Hubbard is. Father Hubbard is I think a Catholic priest, who was converted to vampirism against his will, but he wanted to protect. So I still do his ministry sort of by protecting the other unfortunate people who'd been converted to vampires against their will. So he's still like a religious leader or a group leader trying to protect his people.
Yeah, and he likes to make sure his people allow him to drink from them, so that to make them his children of his communion.
Yeah, just only a couple of drops. Just as they get this sort of bond. Blood brothers, like the Indians do.
In this case,
more so.
Diana cuts a little bit of a cut in her wrist and drops one drop of blood so they can seal the deal.
Yeah, and she's become part of his group. So he will then protect Jack. On her behalf, keep an eye on him, make sure nobody tries to kill him or abduct him or do weird things to him or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so moving on. So Diana and Matthew, they make their plans to leave. And while this is all happening, Diana's aunts have been trying to conjure up or bring back Diana's mum, Rebecca.
Rebecca? Oh, yeah, Rebecca, yeah.
And try to get anything new that might help Diana when she returns. Of course, while this is happening, Peter Knox appears and he tries to kill one of the aunts.
I wonder if she's dead or just unconscious.
I think she is dead.
Shame.
Yeah, it's mentioned in the book, and
Shame.
and it's a bit of a shame for every one of us.
She's a nice lady.
Agreed. Anyway, that's at the whole season 2. So that's about it.
Yeah, so that's where it ends there. So Diana and Matthew are trying to, getting ready to come back to the future, the present. I mean,
You may have heard that two of the demons were going to have an upcoming child.
And they did, a cute little one.
Yeah, that turns out to be a possible witch.
Isn't it lovely?
But Peter Knox appears in the hospital and he tells them that, or not tells them, he tells their mother and that this kid is a witch. So I'm going to go and once I return, I'm going to make sure that she's adopted to the right witch families.
Yeah, steal it and grow it, raise it as a witch, not a demon with witch powers.
Yeah, which I think is a horrible thing to do.
It's a bit rude.
It is rude.
Yeah.
I mean, taking away a child from its parents.
Yeah, and no matter who the parents are, unless they're really, really bad and horrible, they should be taken away,
Agreed.
Anyway.
I often see horrible things when that happens, and I don't like it. Anyway, so that's season 2, and I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't finished reading the third book yet at the moment.
Are you finding the books and the TV series similar, or?
Yeah, there's some similarities, but
Lots
slightly differences. Like when Diana in the book, they're trying to. Throughout the book, they kind of had a hard time trying to find the right teacher. At one point, they kind of backfired on their first choice and ended up having to go all over the place searching for the book till they found the book. And meanwhile, they had to find the right teacher for Diana, and eventually they do find the right coven to help her.
She's a really nice old lady. Yeah. Who knows her tricks?
Yeah, and of course, weavers back then were either killed by the numbers, because this is back in the days when most likely you may get burned as a witch, maybe. I know that in the book series they said that there's no chance of this happening because this is many years later. The witch trials, all that stuff.
Well, no, a lot of the witch trials, I don't know about England, but they happen in Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts, in America.
Yeah.
But they're in England, so I don't know England's history on witches and convictions and killings and whatever.
But then again, if you look at Henry VIII and his second wife, if you guys read history, he accused her of being a witch and had her beheaded.
Okay.
So there.
Okay, easy way to divorce, guys. Hello. Sorry.
Yeah, I gotta admit though, more that I look at Peter Knox, I can't wait to see his just desserts.
Yeah, that'll knock me smile off his face, won't it?
Yeah, I can't wait to see how his reaction is when he sees Diana's powers.
Yeah, I think he's in for a shot. It's a bit like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
And the Emperor. All that sort of guys. They got this little power, they can zap people, but they don't know who's the strongest. And we thought the Emperor was really strong, but not. He got killed.
Oh, so in the season 2, they discover a vampire with blood rage running around killing people.
And I'm not quite sure who it is. You got any ideas?
I have a rough idea, but
you can't.
I'm not going to tell any you either.
Yeah, we're trying to withhold a couple of thingies here and there.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting story, and I don't want you guys getting too far ahead.
Well, we just told most of the story. I think you've told me. But anyway, Sarah's given you the Reader's Digest version of it. Mm-hmm. However, it is a good watch. Now, I'm not saying it's everybody's cup of tea, because I mean, um, it is a good drama. It is a good fantasy. And it's got a bit of romance right in there. If you like that sort of thing, yeah, it's a good watch.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a lot of action and stuff and blood and guts, it ain't in there. But if you like a good story, the fantasy, the romance, I think it's really, really good.
Yeah, speaking of nothing that's dealing with all that stuff, the HBO is maybe looking at making their own Harry Potter series or TV series, and I'm not too...
Like HBO does do a good production.
Sometimes.
No, HBO does do good productions. Didn't we see some Sherlock Holmes ones, different things? They really...
That was how it would... that was Hallmark.
Oh, it's all right, Mum's Day. Check that. HBO, I've seen some HBO stuff anyway, and they do make a good movie and stuff. And so yeah, I wouldn't condemn them just yet, but I think sometimes when you get something like that, Harry Potter or any other theme there, sometimes you're going to be short on ideas.
That's what I mean.
And it could go a bit lame.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
If HBO is sort of a studio that's in America, and while not bad lashing America or anything,
they're looking for ideas they can obviously make a product out of. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll probably make it slightly darker than the actual.
Well, they might. I mean, there's no reason why they can't expand on it, but it depends if they make it. I mean. How do you put it? Okay, if you take a movie,
yes,
let's say an hour and a half, 2 hour long movie, and then say that's good, we've made a really good movie, but we've exhausted the storyline. There is no good trying to make a television series to go 2 or 3 or 4 seasons out of a 2 hour concept.
True. It
doesn't always work unless you've got a brilliant writer. If you haven't got a brilliant writer, you're wasting your time because it's going to go lame. I'm sorry about that for the people in the business, but it can go, and you've seen them go. There's an old saying that's been used. They come out of the camera stillborn. There's no energy in them. It's just like, once upon there was 3 bears, done it.
Yeah, it's just like just like when America came up with their own version of Sherlock Holmes, and it was called Elementary.
Yeah.
And this came out probably a year after they made Sherlock, the modern version of
Cumberbatch.
Yeah. Made so America was doing their own one, even though they didn't do.
But they did different. Didn't they get a female Watson and different things? And they
what's her name?
I can't remember her name.
Lucy Liu.
Lucy Liu, yeah, Lucy Liu. She played a female Watson, didn't he? Wasn't he autistic or something rather, or weird, or crazy, or a bit strange?
Crazy. I think he
was
a drug.
That's right. He's on drugs. Drug addict. And
on the rebound, meaning he's been put in rehab, and she's there to keep him off.
Keep an eye. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He's a drug addict. That's right. I knew he had something wrong with his head. So he's a drug addict coming down, and she was a medical professional looking after him to make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
Yes.
And then she ends up joining him in his exploits.
Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, it's a good bend on the theme, but
and not to mention they didn't use any of the original Sherlock Holmes stories anywhere.
Well, they made that along.
They made that along the way. A lot like if you were looking at Law and Order or one of those those police shows.
But each one was a closed story, starting and middle and ending, so it wasn't continuing. So I suppose it was okay. It didn't drag me in. I watched 1 or 2. I like Lucy Liu. She's really nice.
She's nice.
She made good Charlie's Angels, wouldn't she?
I do think the Sherlock Holmes one
the Sherlock one of Cumberbatch, that wasn't bad.
I like that one because Cumberbatch is I've heard his mother was a famous and mother and father are famous actors.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
I think she was well known in Hammer films, I think. I've seen.
Yeah, okay.
And they made a guest appearance in the actual series itself.
Okay. Anyway, speaking about Hammer, we might do. We got a couple of Hammer movies.
Yes, we do.
We got in line. We might have done 1 or 2 already.
We already did Phantom of the Opera.
That's
already.
right. Yeah, that's really the Hammer version. But they've made some interesting movies. I'm not saying they're all great and fantastic, but they made some really interesting movies. They did their version of Frankenstein and Dracula and different things and other movies, and they were good in their time. So we might do a few more of their movies, drag them out of the past and dust them off a little bit, because there's
Yeah.
a lot of the younger listeners probably
Yeah.
aren't even aware of the movies we're talking about. So
True.
it will be good.
Did you know, guys, off the cuff, that I want to tell you guys that Disney Plus, they're looking at removing their cartoon Peter Pan off their
Oh.
whatever,
Why are they doing Peter Pan?
because of stereotype ish
What?
negativity.
Oh,
they say.
it makes all pirates look bad?
I don't
but
know.
I don't.
I don't know what the problem is. It's a story, like every.
Yeah. But
and-
that is a story, isn't it?
Yeah,
I haven't
true.
actually read the book. Have you read the book?
I've read the book.
Is,
And
is that similar to the book?
yes.
Well, what's the problem with it?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with them.
I know it makes Saint Bernard dogs look silly.
I
you know,
mean,
uh,
there's no. I don't think there's an issue. I mean, I watched it. I liked it. I think sometimes the people who complain about it is just they're making
they complain
issues.
before they, but because they can complain, and some people will listen to them, and they do a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, I
Now,
have-
we talk about the Song of the South and some of those
Yes,
other
we
movies like
did,
that.
and-
A couple of people have come up with some ridiculous claims about it and blah 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 blah, and they tried to ban it.
Yeah, but Peter
Why?
Pan has never been anything but fun and interesting and
Yeah,
comedy.
so
And I've, for
don't
one,
pander to minority groups. You know, I mean, the majority of people like it, and if it's not destructive, I mean, most movies are fictional. Not all, but most movies are fictional. So take it on board. It's a fictional movie. Hello.
Yeah. And how many more are they gonna
Yeah.
discriminate or remove from
Yeah.
their stream? I mean,
But anyway,
there's like so many Disney movies that may have different things that went on back in the old days.
and some things actually people say, oh, it doesn't reflect the truth, but it's
That was
their idea of the truth. But if you have a deeper look into it,
Yeah.
it is more in line with the truth. Like you know, Gone with the Wind.
Yes.
That was sort of reflecting what was happening in the South during that period of time, the
Roughly, yeah.
Civil War and whatever. Okay, now that was a romanticised story, okay, but I believe a lot of what they put in there was from history books. They didn't make anything up. There was a civil war. Towns got burnt. People got shot. A lot of people were wounded and legs blown off. It all happened. You can't say, "Oh, it didn't happen." Well, it happened.
Yeah.
So what are you going to ban that next?
I don't
Let's ban something else. Let's ban Lassie because I don't like collie dogs. You know.
Yeah.
Lord,
I don't even know what their problem is. I mean, I just don't know what they have against movies that just don't have anything wrong with them.
Exactly. I know. There's a lot of people put a lot of effort into making a good movie or a good TV program, and you get a couple of wimpy people and a very extra small minority group say we don't like it, and they screw it up for everybody. Hello.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this picture? You know,
yeah,
how about telling
more
these people
ways
that
than one.
it's time for reality check, get up and grow up, and if you don't like it, change the channel.
Yeah, I keep telling that
Anyway.
to everyone on Boys and Ghouls, that if you don't like a movie, then don't watch it.
Yeah, and don't bag it. Don't say, oh, it's horrible and nasty, blah, blah, blah. No.
And don't spitball about it, because if you don't
Yeah.
like it or don't understand it, then change the channel.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a lot of movies I don't like. I like lots of movies, but there's some movies I don't like. There's one I won't mention at the moment. I watched it again for about the third time. I still don't even understand it.
Yeah. So anyway, moving on. We're drifting.
No, we're just chewing the fat.
Okay, let's focus on our current movie at this present.
Well, it's not a movie, it's a
or a
TV
TV
series. But
so let's discuss how we're
Grading?
grading this movie would be.
okay, getting back to what we said, I've said many times before. TV programs and different genres and different styles, whether it's a big A movie or it's a B movie or it's an independent. I mean, it's hard to grade them, but if a standalone thing like this, if you take it as it is, if you like a fantasy drama romance with a good storyline and not overdoing CGI stuff to make the CGI carry it. It's actually acting. It's not a bad TV series. I'm going to give it, say, 9.5.
I'm going to give it 9.5 too for this one.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that they traveled through time, and I know that most of the time they kept going back and forth between the past and the present, but I did like most of the scenes where it takes place back in the old what's the term?
Tudor times?
Tudor times.
Yeah. And about the William Shakespeare period, can't remember what year that was in, about 300 or 400 years ago. Yeah. Actually, one thing I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure that the studio, which made this up, they did a lot of their filming in their area in Cardiff, in England, or Wales, whatever. And I think they've actually done some of the filming in Italy as well to get a touch of realism.
Yeah.
Because part of it's supposed to be in Italy, and some of it's supposed to be in Old World England. And so, and they got the studios as well. So the sense of reality, to me, comes through quite well.
Yeah, I certainly like the clothing that Diana wears in that period. I mean,
Yeah.
I kept worrying to myself, how's she going to fit in throughout this series? Oh, it's going to be so difficult because Americans didn't, accents would not have existed back then.
Or Australian accents either.
Yeah, think about that, guys. I mean, people would not understand the way you phrase a word.
Ye old world Englishy.
Well,
Forsooth, he cried. Yeah.
Well, you said yourself, Dad, that the English speak is a very, easy, nothing to
See, when
harsh.
you talk about English, English isn't English. That sounds strange. Because English language actually started in England, but I think it was a composite English language from the Angles and the Saxons. So I think it started, even then it became a composite language. And then, say, the people who came from England, Spain, other places there, went and settled in other countries, America, Australia, whatever, they brought strains of dialects from different areas in their countries. So if you got somebody from, say, deep south in America with that southern twang, and you got somebody who's coming from up north near the Canadian border or something or other, their dialects are going to be totally different. You see, and the same in England and other places where their dialects of the English language. So it's changed and morphed so much over the decades and centuries and whatever. So what we're speaking now is like a morphed version of English.
True.
So yeah. So that's my little bit of science for you folks.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I mean.
Yeah,
too.
that's what just changes. So yeah, if you go back in time, you cannot talk the way we're talking now because they say you're talking funny.
Yeah.
Where are you from? And you stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah.
Yeah, considering that Diana was English American.
American,
and, and they probably couldn't. In the book, they kind of couldn't figure out where she was from. She was darkly tanned, and her appearance, and it was taller and weirder looking and stuff.
Whatever.
A little different than the women that were probably living in that.
Well, yeah, it was
period.
like going to Italy. If she was I wouldn't say a basketball giant, but if she went there and she's rather tallish for a girl, like say 5'8", 5'9", 5'10" or something or other, went to Italy, the average height's 5'4", 5'5".
Also, somehow Diana's hair changed colour in this, or in the book anyway.
Rusty water?
No, something a reddish gold, I think it was.
Rusty water, I was joking.
Shut up. Anyway, that's what happened. She ended up...
Couldn't go to the hairdresser?
No, somehow, I think her powers were trying to change her hair colour.
Maybe.
Some weirdness there.
I wish I'd grow some bloody hair.
So anyway, that's about it for us.
Actually, well, I will say one thing. Critical reception on this one, even Rotten Tomatoes thinks it's good.
Oh, that's a relief.
And Metacritic thinks it's good. So, most reviews are positive on the series so far.
My biggest worry is that after this one, I'm worried that America is going to make their own version of it and stuff it up.
Well, it has happened, but if they get inspired and get a good writer, they might be able to make a good product. They might. I mean, I'm not saying yes and I'm saying no. It depends on who's writing, because you get some damn good writers they can make a story out of anything.
I know.
But if you get an average writer or a bad writer, they can actually destroy it just as much as
yeah,
the next person.
they may
So,
try to
yeah.
put a little bit too much drama in it, like
Or-
try to make out that Matthew is having an affair with another witch or another
Or
witch.
actually beat more blood and guts and gore and axe and stuff in it, try to make it interesting. Or
cramming
try,
a lot of stuff
yeah.
into each other, trying to make out
Yeah.
that everyone is having an affair with someone else.
Yeah, something like that. So
yeah.
if they twist the story around too much, and it's nothing like the original books and everything. It's in name only.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it,
what
so
I
yeah,
really
yeah.
hate most about movies and TV shows, that they just try to make it look so unrealistic.
Well, they get their own version on it, and then sometimes it goes off the mark a bit. I'm not saying always.
Not always.
Sometimes they get a good idea and they run with it, and they do it quite well. So yeah.
Yeah, right director,
You get-
right
right,
writer.
the right
and-
writer, right director, and good actor, and the right actors come together. It's not always that easy.
That's true. I mean, I thought when they casted the character who was going to play, the actor who played Philippe, he looked like the one I would have imagined in my mind.
Oh, there you go.
Older, superior, not young like Matthew Young, but very superior and wise
Yeah,
looking.
that sense of authority, would you say?
I would say that.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I like
but
that.
without being nasty and horrible.
Yeah, he's
Yes,
not a dictator, but a kind but good-natured man.
Because they were human beings at one stage.
True,
Yeah.
true. And he was a leader of men, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, look at Vlad the Impaler, the original Dracula, the real guy, not the the fictional guy, but he was a prince. He was an army leader, general, whatever in his army. He was a real leader of men. And if these guys were leaders of hierarchy and stuff, they've got all these other skills as well. So yeah, why not? It's
Yes.
possible.
Is there anything else we want to add about this one?
Only thing I want to say is season 3 is under production now, but it won't be out till January 2022.
Give or take.
It's about a year from now. We'll be talking about it.
Yes. So anyway, thanks for listening to this latest podcast, guys.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure talking to you again.
This is Sarah Stephenson
And Michael,
saying, see you guys next time.
I would like to see you sometime, brother, but I can't.
Bye now for
It's
now.
audio.
All right, bye for now, guys.
Bye.